One, the only, Chris Colfer!
Thank you so much, everybody. Give it up one more time. Let's do that again.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You probably think that's about you, Chris, but they do that for me every time I come out here. Don't worry about it. So this book, I was talking about it in the green room. There's a lot to unpack here. I would imagine a fair amount of it is inspired by your time on a very successful television.
Not at all. Not at all. No. Completely made it up. Yeah, of course. No, I had a very interesting coming of age experience myself, because it was in front of 20 million people a week, and I just thought it would be a really fun voice to add to the YA world, kind of the point of view from someone who is a part of a big phenomenon.
And quite usually in YA, we find, I think, the stories revolve around some sort of foreign world or dystopic world, and metaphors are mixed in to sort of address young adult issues. You're addressing a lot of young adult issues head on. You have 4 main characters that go on the road trip with Cash Carter, our sort of TV star, and each of them are dealing with identity issues of their own, and I feel like you handle that very sensitively. And what made you want to sort of go after each one of those for those characters?
Well, all 5 main characters, Cash, Sam, Topher, Mo, and Joey, are all me. Some version of me, or something that I went through when I was a kid, or some element of my own adolescence that I exaggerated. And so I know on the surface it kind of seems like a book that's about, you know, your heroes are human, but I think that's what you're supposed to think until the very, very end. And then for those of you who have read it know there's a little bit of a twist, and then it kind of becomes you realize the story is about 4 people who are very, very, very different, but are united by their fear of disapproval, and how watching their hero fall from grace cures them of that fear. And I think just being a young person and knowing that the fear of disapproval is a huge deal is really what inspired me to write this book, especially after I experienced so much disapproval from being in the spotlight.
Now, there's one moment in the book, and I don't want to give anything away, where you sort of inadvertently, I don't know, or maybe specifically it's so minor, you discuss kind of representation on television, where Sam talks to their parents about who he feels he is, and their parents say, "We saw this on Grey's Anatomy," which I thought it's a joke, but it's also so interesting, especially coming from someone who was on Glee, who sort of works in that atmosphere in regards to television, progressive television storytelling, how that actually does affect families across the country.
Yeah, no, that was kind of based on how my mom used to react to things, and I think a lot of parents out there in the world really sort of rely on television to give them permission to accept things. And I remember like when I first came out, my mom, one of the ways that she was finally okay with it was she was like, "Well, you know, Christopher, I was watching Brothers and Sisters with Sally Field, and she just loves her gay son, and so do I." So I was like, all right. So I had to add that in there somewhere.
Well, it's so smart. It's it's almost like a throwaway joke, but at the same time, it speaks a lot.
True.
To,
yeah. And nothing's funnier than reality. You know, if to quote Carrie Fisher, one of my favorite lines in her book is, "If it wasn't funny, it'd just be true."
So I have to ask, you know, you said every character in this is a part of you. Was there a point when you were on Glee at the height of its success where you felt like Cash Carter, as cynical as he is at times in the book?
Not necessarily. He's also far more famous, far more successful, far better looking than I'll ever be. So I was definitely oh, God bless you. No, but I mean, I think you know, everyone has like their bad days, and I could definitely feel myself kind of maybe going that direction sometimes. But no, I don't think. Actually, I think Cash is probably, honestly, the least like me of all 5 characters, except for the situation.
Let's talk about something that's discussed in the book. There's a scene where Cash talks about, or gives a lesson on really fame versus reality, or fame versus fact, excuse me.
Fame versus respect.
Fame versus respect. Which I think is so smart, and something that is clearly on your mind and was probably on your mind a lot while you were making Glee, or were a part of that sort of system. Can you talk about that scene and what fame versus respect means to someone who's in the spotlight?
Yeah, I think we all are kind of respect junkies. I think that's just kind of a natural human emotion is to really crave and want to be respected, especially when you're young, because you're just disrespected constantly by adults and by people in your community. I know I was, but fame, it was never something that I ever thought that I would ever acquire or thought that I'd ever have. And I love being a voice for a lot of the voiceless out there that I've been, and I love having a huge audience like yourselves. But I don't think being famous was ever one of my goals. And I really kind of thought about it, because there are a lot of people in the industry where that is their main objective, and I've never understood that. And I was like, but wait, why are we similar? And I was like, well, because we both want respect, but maybe they just think that's their version of respect.
Did you retreat from fame at all? And is that why you've sort of devoted a lot of your time to writing?
Oh yeah, I became very agoraphobic for a bit. Say what you want about Glee, because I'm very well aware of all the opinions of what that show was or wasn't. But
back there for a second.
What's that?
What are the opinions that you're referring to? I don't know.
Oh. What's that? Oh no! I just it's been this constant battle, because on one hand it's like people either treat us like we're like these civil rights spearheads, or kids bop for adults, but it's
I don't understand.
It's either or. It's like my sister, my daughter, my sister, my daughter.
Why can't you be both? That's what I don't understand.
Well, I don't mind being both. I mean, I let people have their own. But I think, why did I bring that up?
Very well. You said you're very well aware of the opinions about Glee in regards to, I think, your agoraphobia.
Yes. Well, like I said, regardless of what people think, I think it's undeniable how popular it was for a time, and we were kind of like the Beatles there for a little bit. And I
think you still are. I mean,
thank you. Yeah, so it was really hard to go outside for a little bit, and because in the town where I'm from, if a crowd suddenly surrounds you, it's because you're about to get your ass kicked, not because people want to take pictures with you. So it was really it was something I had to work on. I had to learn about, and Cash in the book even talks about his agoraphobia, and that was very true. There was a time when I was getting death threats and things like that for being a gay person on television, and it really terrified me, and I thought that was a good experience and a good example to give someone who's living in fear themselves for something.
After Glee, how important was it for you to consistently or continue to give good examples to people who are young, considering that Glee was such incredible sort of voice for those who felt disenfranchised as young people?
Well, I think it's probably my most important job, and I never asked to be a role model, but I'm very happy to be one, because I know when I was a kid there was no one like me to look up to. Now there's several people like me to look up to.
Feel in competition with them? You want to take them down? No.
A little bit, but no. I mean, like when I was the only gay kid on national television when Glee started. Don't quote me on that. I might be forgetting somebody. But but now you go on YouTube, and there are hundreds of famous young gay people who are making people proud to be who they are. I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud to be just to be a role model to people. I take it very seriously.
In the book, one of the sort of prevailing themes is this idea, and you brought it up really at the top of this interview, which is this idea of our heroes versus who they are as real people, and sort of worshiping kind of false idols, which a lot of people do. They think the actor is the character, and they ask them questions as if their life revolves around being that character. Was that something that you felt while you were on Glee?
Not at all.
But how does that
No,
Are you
totally
able
kidding.
to sort of react to that in a lighthearted way, or does it actually affect you at times that people don't actually know you for who you are and really want you to be this other thing?
I think it affected me more as a young person than it did as an actor, because it takes so much courage and so much bravery just to kind of be yourself and to find yourself. And so when you finally get to that point, and then you have the rest of the world telling you that you're not that person, you're this other thing, it's really hard to deal with that, and it's really hard not to take that personally and not to be angry about that. So yeah, no, I think it was definitely more of a young person thing. And honestly, the thing that drove me nuts the most was everyone always thought I was this big fashion gay kid, when really I'm a Comic-Con gay kid.
He's snapping for you.
Thank you.
He's snapping for Comic-Con. When did you realize that? Did you always know
So
that?
underrepresented. I mean, oh my God, it's like, where are the gay kids on TV? Like, with the Superman shirt or the Wonder Woman shirt or the, I mean, goodness gracious.
That's true, and I think television, even in its attempts to sort of have more representation of gay characters on television, for a long period of time, I would say decades, focused on very similar gay characters in terms of representation, because they were scared of, you could call them stereotypes, but I would also say some of those creators thought that they were not showcasing stereotypes, but were sort of doing what was entertaining at the time, while at the same time opening minds, but maybe they were stereotyping.
Right, and you know, when you are making something that's groundbreaking, always make sure you check the groundwork first. But yeah, no, but I think it's getting a lot better. I mean, it is getting a lot better, and it's really nice, and it's really nice to see finally gay characters on TV that don't have to talk about being gay. They can just be themselves, and they can just live a life, and you can watch someone have just a life experience rather than a constant coming out experience. It's nice.
Did you have any hesitation or fear writing something that could come off so personal when you started it? Did you pitch it to people and they were like, oh, they're going to think this is about you, maybe you don't want to do that, or did you
Absolutely.
yourself worry about it?
I was terrified, but then one of the things I'm really proud of is how many young kids I've inspired to write. And the advice I always give them is to not be afraid of it. And I felt if I was then afraid to write something that was really so close to me, then I was kind of a hypocrite. So I really use my my readers to give me the strength and the bravery to write something like this. It's not completely based on me or 100% based on all my experiences, but it is definitely the most autobiographical, truthful book that I've written to date.
Were you worried? It's definitely not, I wouldn't call it an R-rated book by any means. Maybe like a hard PG-13. But after having been a children's book writer for quite some time, were you worried about publishing something like that? I mean, you even have, the final page of the book is a kind of, not necessarily a warning to parents, but, letting them know what they're in for at the end of the book.
Yeah, it's so therapeutic to be able to use bad words. I can't.
The best.
I can't tell you how many times I've been writing land stories and just wanted Mother Goose or someone to go, oh, and I can't do it. But I've tried to sneak in a couple dams there, but my editor always gets it, always finds it. But no, it was nice, and yeah, very very therapeutic to write for an older audience. What was the second part of that question? I was too busy thinking of the memes that are going to come out of me just swearing just now that
Were you? Did you have any hesitations at all about doing that? Were you nervous about doing that?
Absolutely, because the stories behind the kids. There's Topher, who's a sibling of someone with special needs. There's Sam, who's transgender. There's Mo, who is a creative person in a practical world, and then there's Joey, who's in the closet. And so I really wanted to be as respectful but truthful to their stories as possible, and of course, there's race stuff and there's transgender stuff that I've never experienced. But I still wanted that voice to be out there, and I have the platform to do it. So that was probably the hardest part was learning. Just to kind of hoping people would like it and appreciate it, and I'm sure there's stuff in there that isn't 100% accurate, but yeah, I hope people like it.
And you're so dedicated to telling the story of this transgender character that you even have, I would say, like a page and a half sort of dedicated to telling people what gender fluidity is, how gender works. What was it like writing that, and who did you talk to sort of make sure that all of that was kind of right?
You know, I didn't really talk to human beings. I went on a lot of like GLAD websites and stuff and read it, and then once I had written what I wanted to read, then I reached out to people, and we had a sensitivities read it, and give me the final okay.
What's so interesting about it to me is I think a lot of people who've never talked to a transgender person before would look at that and be like, oh, that's didactic, and it's like, no. Most trans people that I talk to have done an incredible amount of research, and they can go on like that in an unbelievable way because it means so much to them. They know everything about it, and it makes perfect sense. And I think it's a very realistic depiction of someone in an identity crisis at that moment coming to terms with it.
Yeah, it's really important to me. It infuriates me that there's some people in this world that don't understand the trans movement. It's like what do you mean you don't understand being in a transition to be a more authentic, better version of yourself? Who does not understand that? I mean, okay, the gender identity. Okay, I understand someone might not relate to that, but like, I mean, at least always be on a mission to better yourself, to be a more authentic version of yourself. You know, I mean, I don't necessarily. I've never identified, or I've never had experience with struggling with gender identity, but body image identity. I mean, I don't identify with this half-baked crescent roll before you. I mean, I identify with Zac Efron's body. That's the body that I want. Thank you.
You know you're gonna get compliments from this crowd when you say stuff like that. Like, watch me. Oh, I'm not that attractive.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Very, very nice people here, guys.
You know, so sometimes you just need a compliment, you know. Again, thanks.
I'm curious, the person that you dedicate this book to, who is that person in your life? And, you know, you say in it, you probably remember this better than I remember it.
I dedicate the book to my best friend, Ashley Fink. And she has a, good. She has a wonderful steel trap memory, and I have no memory whatsoever. So like whenever we're around, I actually need her physically present to like reminisce about something because I forget all the details. And in fact, when she read the book, she was like, "Was this person based on that person?" And I said, "Oh no, not at all." And she's like, "Really? Because I was with you when they said that to you." Oh, maybe it is.
Now, you know, in one part of the book, Cash talks about the sort of fan letters that he receives. And in many ways, these are characters that, you know, send fan letters, people who probably sent fan letters to you when you were on Glee. And what Cash is able to sort of do for them in the book is sort of help them come to terms with the problems that they were struggling with in the letters that they sent him. Is this kind of sort of your own fan fiction in the sense that you wish you could have gone into these letters or gone into a lot of these people's lives and sort of help them with the problems they sent you in the letters?
That's very layered.
Yes. It's either layered or an incredibly long, robust way of asking an easy question.
No, absolutely. I think what I really wanted to send the message across or the message that I wanted to send across with the letters thing was to never underestimate just what one letter will do, because it has the power of making someone's whole year, and on both sides, on being a fan or being someone with fans. And I know there have been some really tough times, and one positive tweet would make me would change my whole outlook on life. And yeah, so I really I'm one of the very, very few authors, I think, that have had, you know, that been on television and really experienced that, and I really wanted to really celebrate that really beautiful symbiosis between a fandom and whoever they're idolizing.
Now, before we turn it over to the audience, talk to me about this this cover that you designed. It gives me my own Private Idaho feeling, to be honest with it.
Yeah, I design every book that comes out. I design the cover at least, yeah, I wear a lot of Ray-Ban sunglasses, so I have those there, and that's supposed to match the font for the concert they go to.
Okay, guys, who has some questions out here? Whoever has a microphone right there.
Hi. Can you talk about your new TV show?
Oh, sure, yeah. Thank you. Well, it's called Indigo, and it is about the Indigo Children, which I don't know if many of you are familiar with what the Indigo Children are or what the belief is behind them, but it's basically the belief that you know, there are a lot of people in this world that are capable of a lot of things that we just don't quite understand yet. And I've seen that firsthand with my little sister Hannah. She has special needs, and I've been exposed to her and her friends for my whole life, and I've seen them capable of so many extraordinary things, but they're constantly slapped with labels like disabled or handicapped, and I kind of want to make a show for them, and really a show that not only inspires them, but also entertains them as well. Now I got to write the damn thing. So yeah, you know, and it's gonna be very sci-fi and thriller, and I hope we find a home for it.
Next question. Someone's got a microphone. No.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
It's been very beneficial listening to you talk so far about your fame experience and everything as an upcoming entertainer myself.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you. So Glee was definitely a huge influence on me. It really helped me in coming of age in so many ways I can't even begin to describe. So I was wondering, for you personally, was there like a TV show, a movie, or even a book that really helped motivate you and bring you up to this level?
Oh, that's such a good question. Harry Potter, of course. Oh my gosh, I wish I probably could have come up with something really good for that. You know, my problem is I've always identified with old women. So like I think all the sitcoms about older. Golden Girls, Roseanne. You know, I think those.
Roseanne is my top 5.
Oh yeah.
Maybe my favorite sitcom of all time.
Yeah, of course. I did an interview today with Sandra Bernhard, and I was freaking out. I was like, "You're Nancy." But
first female kiss on television, right?
Yeah,
Sandra Bernhard and Roseanne.
I think the first. Oh yeah, and was that before Ellen came out too?
Before Ellen, it was the first female. It was first kiss. Ellen was the first character that came out, I believe.
Right. Yeah. She was incredible. But yeah, but you know, it's funny. I don't think you need someone that is your age or your gender or your anything to have them help you along your journey. You know, I think we can find inspiration from anyone we choose to. That help? Is that good? Is that fine? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I said my thing about Roseanne and Ellen with the utmost confidence, but I could very well be wrong. So if somebody looks that up, I might be wrong. Next question. Who is right there?
Hi.
Hi.
I know you're very busy. You do so much in a day. How do you find time to like write or just bar yourself away from Cooper and Brian, who always are in your way?
Oh, well, I'm still figuring that out. Honestly, I have an amazing assistant that helps me. I have an incredible family, and I have an incredible team that really are the secret to my success. And they surround me, they protect me, and they really make it possible for me to do what I do. With Brian, I've recently found this laser machine that spins the laser. And so I just leave that in the other room, and he stays, and he doesn't chase it. He's too fancy for that. But he just stare at it. You know, makes sure it doesn't go in the other room. And with Cooper, he really likes ice, so I just give him some ice, and he chews on that, and then he's ready for the next one. Yeah.
Next question.
We're going to take our next question from an online viewer. So Christina wants to know, if you could choose 4 people to go on a road trip with, who would they be?
Ooh, my gosh. Let me think. Do they have to be real? I would say J.K. Rowling. I'd say Hillary Clinton. Ian McKellen. Can I have more?
Yeah, go for it. Dig in.
Oprah. Shirley MacLaine. And I'm like a total creeper. I'm looking right into camera as I say that. I didn't realize that my eyes were on the camera. So now I'm like really intensely. So anyway. Oh, Ellen. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. That's great. Cool. Yeah.
I think we have time for one more question. Who's got the mic right there?
What character are you most relatable to?
Ooh, gosh.
Character of his or just character in general?
Character in general? Ooh, that's a good question. Elmo. Probably Dory. I've met so many people multiple times to the point where it's just rude now, and yeah.
Guys, I think that's all the time that we have. Stranger Than Fan Fiction is on shelves now, right?
Yes, right now, yes.
Okay, great. Chris, congratulations on the book.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Colfer, everybody.
Thank you guys.